dream that basically I felt like I had a dream that I was going to die, basically.
Yeah.
I literally had a dream that somebody had buried me in a coffin.
Uh-huh.
That's what the dream was.
Oh, wow.
And
Alive?
It was just showing me I'm in a coffin. I don't know if I was there. I just knew that meant death to me. To me, that meant I am going to die.
That's how you read it.
That is the feeling I got from it.
Yeah.
And I told my mom that morning, and my oldest daughter, Brooke, I got them together, gave them all of my banking information. I said, I feel like this year I may die. This was in 2018. This was maybe February, March 2018. I said, I don't know. I had this dream and I'm feeling like ominous. I feel this in my stomach that something is not right. And I don't know when, how, but I feel like something that I might die this year.
First of many.
First of many.
And I'm grateful that you chose this platform to share your story, your experience.
Yes.
Speaking of, guys, thank you guys for tuning in to the platform. This is the Lakeland Highlight, where we get to highlight and feature a local story with up to some awesome things in the community. That's exactly who we have here today. If you don't know, she's an electrolysis, with Lakeland Electrolysis for over 25 years, a mother to 3 beautiful children, 2 daughters and a son. Just does awesome things in the community. Has been doing it forever. Extremely hilarious, a light in the room, just an amazing personality. Dominica Betty, writer of I Died That Day, but Not Like He Wanted. Not Like He Wanted.
Yeah.
Also known as Nikki. I gotta ask, what made you choose the title of that book? Why did you choose I Died That Day, but Not Like You Wanted?
Because a part of me did die. The person that I was up until that day, I am no longer that person. I mean, I've gone through, I always say, an alchemical process since that day. God has taken me through the gutter and remade me into who I am today. A person that actually can feel joy, somebody that loves to pour into other people, and I get to do that on a daily basis with everybody that lays in my chair. And somebody that actually has been able to lead with love, even in the face of darkness, even though my life and my kids' lives were turned upside down. So I get to choose to lead with love.
You get to choose to lead with love. And that's not how it's supposed to end.
No. Oh, no, absolutely not. So I believe I got so much more to do in this world.
Yeah. So you mentioned some things about, I don't know if the word was spirituality or gifts, but we talked earlier about it, right? Intuition. How far back does that go in your life?
That goes back to being a little kid, having dreams of someone dying and, telling my mom, somebody's going to die and not knowing who that person would be, but it actually coming to pass. And it happens so, not every month but it happened enough that I said to myself, maybe if I don't say anything, nothing will happen.
Right.
But that didn't stop
things from
happening.
Stop things from happening.
And I remember.
At what point would people just say, you're just paranoid?
Oh, no, I was never told that.
You were never told that?
But I was never told to, it wasn't something that was cultivated or like, it just was like kind of dismissed. So I never thought anything of it.
Yeah.
But I remember at age 13, I was, I had told God, I said, you know what, God, I'm tired of hearing about bad stuff. I'm tired of, why do I have to hear about bad stuff?
Right.
So, and that kind of stuff stopped for a long time.
You asked not to hear and therefore it stopped.
It stopped. Yep.
Did you get any other intuitive insight? Spiritual insight, if you would.
As a teenager, I was so emotional and all over the place that it's kind of hard for that kind of stuff to seep in. But yeah, you get the little, oh, don't go there, because of this, or stop right now. And you do intersection, somebody's coming through, little things like that. You got that, but nothing major.
Do you feel like you had the ability to use your intuition to help you influence direction or things that are happening in your life? Or maybe they help guide some good decisions you made in your life?
Oh yeah. That didn't happen until I knew what was going on with me. Mm-hmm. When I realized that, mm-hmm. I could write things out. Matter of fact, the 6 months that I was separated from my late husband, I had a notebook. I was living with my mom, and I had a notebook that I wrote everything that I wanted to happen. And I scripted it as if it had already happened.
Really?
98% of the things on that list happened within a year. So that's when I knew. I was like, oh.
I'm Morpheus, the Oracle.
But our words have power. Our intention, it's the intention that we put out.
100%.
Absolutely. So yeah, I do. I absolutely, not everything is good for you that, you want.
Right.
So
be careful what you ask for.
You do have to be careful what you ask for.
Speaking of being careful what you ask for, how did you meet Herman? How did you meet?
Me and Herman met.
The protagonist in the story, if you will.
Yes. Me and him, we met back in 2001. Matter of fact, this month makes 25 years ago that we met at a Mardi Gras party that the Qs were having
Omega Psi Phi.
Yep, at Club Kathleen. Club Kathleen was some good times.
It was when you hung out.
That was the place to be.
In little old Lakeland.
Yep, little old Lakeland. People would come from far and wide to come to Club Kathleen. That was the place. Good memories. But I had seen him. It was 2 or 3 days prior to actually meeting him. I saw him at a car wash. He was getting his car washed, and he said hello. And I was not in a good mood. I was sitting there with my oldest daughter, and I was like, hi. But I noticed, I was like, wow, he looks good. Yeah. This is a good looking man. And he was so upbeat.
Yeah.
And that I was like, wow. So he got his golf clubs. He went and got in his car, and he left. And I remember thinking, that is a beautiful man, and it would be lovely if I could meet somebody like that. He looks like he has everything together. Mm-hmm. And 3 days later, I met him. Yeah, just divine. Yeah, it was meant to be. It was fated, I should say. So a friend of mine actually invited me out that Friday night. He was like, come on, we're going up to Club Kathleen. You know, him and his brother were coming from Brandon. He was like, we're going to Q's having a party. And I was like, okay, I'll come.
Yeah.
I was supposed to come and hang out with them.
Right.
But when I walked in that club, Herman was at the door taking money. And I was like, I know you. And he was like, yeah. And he was like, hey, this is the girl I was telling you about. And I was like, oh, okay. So, and like I said, after that, later on that night, I came back and we started talking, and it was just on from there. It was magnetic. It was like we knew each other.
It was like you knew each other.
It was like we
Interesting to use the word, faded, and like you knew each other. And we can. That's interesting, right? Especially with your ability to have these intuitive foresights. Was there anything leading up to the event, intuitive wise, that would have give you foresight or signs that he may have harmed you or caused you any harm in any kind of way?
And the event you're talking about, the incident that There were a few things that had happened, and one was as early as, late as 5 years prior to it happening. I had a dream that this man came in my dream and told me basically that he committed murder-suicide. And I had his name.
Mm-hmm.
He gave me his name.
Yeah.
I got his wife.
In your dream. That's your dream.
In my dream, I had his wife's name.
And they were the real names.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I looked
and
it up.
Would you have had any way of knowing these people any other way?
Never heard of them. Oh, my God. Never heard of them.
Wow.
But I woke up and I remember I looked that information up and I was blown away. And that's when I told Herman, I said, I had a dream about this person.
Yeah.
And he said murder-suicide. And he was like, oh, I knew him. He said, I had played basketball with him at the Y.
Yeah.
He said, I couldn't believe he did something like that. He would, he was such a nice guy.
Right.
That's exactly what he said. I couldn't believe that he would ever do something like that.
He was such a nice
guy. And sure enough, that person actually, where he told me this happened, actually was on the south side of town, and they lived there, literally not even a mile away from where we were living.
Wow.
Yep.
So, do you feel like God shielded you from knowing too much? If you're able to see things like this, like what was the timeline between you having this dream and this happening to them?
It was 5 years.
5 years.
That was 5 years prior. We weren't having issues in our relationship at the time. Wow. So I remember thinking to myself, Herman would never do anything like that to me. Yeah. Why would God show me that?
Why?
Why would he show me that?
Right.
We were not having any issues at that time.
Now, at this, I mean, you guys have been together for what, 20 plus years at this point, right?
But at that time, we had probably been together about 11 years. Yeah, about 10 or 11 years. But yeah, I could have never guessed that would have happened. Yeah. But that's the way things played out. Attempted murder-suicide. And
wow.
Yeah.
Was there any other nudges or intuitive nudges that came about?
Mm-hmm. There was a couple more. Another dream that basically I felt like I had a dream that I was going to die, basically.
Yeah.
I literally had a dream that somebody had buried me in a coffin.
Uh-huh.
That's what the dream was.
Oh, wow.
And
alive?
It was just showing me I'm in a coffin. I don't know if I was there. I just knew that meant death to me. To me, that meant I am going to die.
That's how you read it.
That is the feeling I got from it.
Yeah.
And I told my mom that morning, and my oldest daughter, Brooke, I got them together, gave them all of my banking information. I said, I feel like this year I may die. This was in 2018. This was maybe February, March 2018. I said, I don't know. I had this dream and I'm feeling like ominous. I feel this in my stomach that something is not right. And I don't know when, how, but I feel like something that I might die this year. And they were really upset. And, why would you say that? And, and of course, 6-7 months later, yeah, I was spared, thank God, but I could have been gone.
Yeah, he tried to kill you.
Yep, he attempted murder-suicide. But, I told you there was another incident matter of fact, the week prior to this happening. This incident happened on Labor Day, early morning Labor Day of 2018. That Thursday prior, I was working on a client, and this is in the book. I was working on her, and I literally see a man in my mind's eye. I see this person standing next to us, and I could tell you everything he wore. And I was like, I told her, I said, there's a man in here, and he's short. He's wearing these suspenders. And she was like, oh my God, Nikki, you're freaking me out. And I was like, she's like, that sounds like my dad. And I was like, this happens sometimes, but not all the time that it happens like that.
Right.
When my eyes are open and somebody is in my office. And it wasn't like he was just me and you. It was, he was there though. I could see him. Mm-hmm. Anyway, she just went on and talked. And she was like, how did that happen? I said, I don't know. It just happens sometimes. But we never found out why he was there.
Did it, when you were looking, did it feel like a vision casted on top of reality?
Yeah, it was kind of like
you were in the room, but you were like having a vision of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's how that's how it happens to me.
Yes, like in your mind's eye, literally there. I was like, and it was a glimpse, but it was a glimpse enough that it gave me everything. All of that detail, I could tell her everything he was wearing.
Wow.
And what he looked like.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you, I say this to say, I didn't think anything of that. I was just like, oh, that happens sometimes. Fast forward.
Yeah.
My ex-husband or late husband tried to kill me. 2 weeks after that, I come back, I'm at work, and this client comes to me, and I had to tell her what I had gone through. She says, Nikki, did I tell you how my dad died? And I said, no, we didn't get to that. She said, he tried to kill my mom and he committed suicide.
Oh, wow.
So when I tell you I had premonitions, it was like, but God
you wouldn't have known.
I would not have ever
put it all together that way.
I could not have. There was no way, even still then, that I know that my late husband wanted me dead. I didn't know he was planning it.
But if you heard yourself say it now, you could see.
Oh, absolutely. Now I see it's hindsight 2020.
Or maybe somebody can hear you talking about this. Yeah. Maybe they can pick up on
They can trust themselves and trust, if God gives them a vision, and not everybody's going to go, oh, I see that person. What do you want? But, it's just interesting. I'm just grateful that my prayer life, my belief in God, and Him telling me to do all the things that I did as far as prayers of protection,
right?
That I did consistently,
right?
And then the month prior to this happening, Him telling me to add in physical protection.
Yeah,
and I'm like, God, but He does not hit me.
Right.
I literally said that out loud, sitting at my desk one day before work. I was like, this was August 1st. I said, He doesn't hit me. And I said, I know. I told you I would never question it. I would just act on whatever you give me. I'll just act. So I added in physical protection from that point.
Yeah.
Not knowing that 31 days later, that I'd be facing a gun pointed at me. Yeah. So, sitting for 2 hours in front of a gun.
And here you are.
And here I am. So I do believe prayer works. What you speak is powerful.
It's powerful.
It is very powerful.
Yes.
Whether it's positive or negative, it's powerful.
Who do you feel like this book is for?
I believe this book is for anyone who has gone through some really hard times, who feels like they've been in manipulative relationships, people that feel like they can't trust their inner voice.
Yeah.
I feel like it's for all of those people.
Yeah.
Anybody that is in darkness right now, whether it's a marriage, whether it's a relationship, girlfriend, boyfriend, it can be a parental relationship where you're experiencing any type of abuse, no matter if it's narcissistic, but any type of personality disorder or abuse that is just manipulative.
Yeah.
You can see yourself in this book. Yeah. And it'll show you that you may go through some darkness, but it doesn't always have to end that way. We all have a choice.
For me, and you may not even thought about this, and we had a conversation about this earlier, but I feel from the other side as a man that's suffering quietly and thinking and meditating and will deliver on the promise of whatever suffering they're going through, can maybe experience an opportunity, a glimpse into a mirror, an opportunity for self-reflection, and maybe have an opportunity to want to reach out and get some help. because maybe you can, maybe we missed that opportunity to recognize, where our faith is and the source is and how powerful this stuff really is. Mm-hmm. And we've gotten away from that, right? Gotten away from that source, gotten away from that life. And like earlier I was telling you about the story of Kevin Gates, and he was saying, he was going through a hard time and he wanted to kill himself, commit suicide. But he wasn't doing murder-suicide, but he was just suffering.
Yeah.
You know, about somebody has all the money, he has all the things going for himself, but he didn't feel like anybody loved him. He didn't feel like he was celebrated. He didn't feel the connection. And a gentleman stepped to him minutes before he dropped his daughter off because he was ready to go. He was smiling. He said, he was just smiling to deal with the pain. Yeah. On his way to go do what he needed to do. And the man said, hey, man, we love you. God wants you here. We all love you.
That's divine intervention.
And he said, God speaks through people.
Yes, he does.
And
he uses...
I feel your book can hold a mirror to many faces of people, of men who are suffering quietly, as well as give an opportunity for women and or men who are going through an experience of, dealing with some of the signs of this type of personality. Right. Speaking of, what were some early signs that you saw? I know we're circling back, but I don't know if we ever touched on that.
Control.
Control?
Yeah. There were a lot of moments that he was very controlling. And I have had a tendency toward being with men that wanted to
be in control.
They wanted me like this. Yeah. Like you're mine.
You're mine. And nobody had you.
Right. No, and part of me loved that. And that's that dysfunction. And that's how those personalities find each other. It's designed that way. One person may be lacking something that the other person can give. And that's how they come together. But yeah, there was a part of me broken, and I needed to be validated in those ways. I needed to be seen. I needed to be just coddled and treated like I'm a princess or a queen. And yeah, I love that. But a lot of times it comes along with other things that aren't so pretty, which control and like abuse, mental, emotional abuse. Yeah. Yeah, it can come along with, not all the time, but in a lot of cases.
In the situation you experienced, it was more so control.
Very much so. It was a lot of financial control. It was a lot of mental and emotional abuse. And when I say abuse, when I talk about it now, it almost makes you feel a little discombobulated, because that's what you feel like when you're in it. Because right now, basically what I'm doing is putting myself back in that. It's disorienting. It's disorienting because you just, you want to believe that the person that you're with has your best interests at heart. But yet if they're undermining you in certain ways and you don't want to believe that that person would do that to you, that makes it throws you off. Yeah. It throws you off, because I believe that a man and a woman coming together, you got my back, I got yours. I may not have your back like certain ways, but I tell you what, I can pick up the slack, and we're a team. Right. When I'm doing good, you're doing good. That's how it's supposed to be. Right. Not somebody that wants to sabotage or not see you grow. Right. That's not what a healthy relationship is supposed to be.
And you felt like, you saw signs of,
that's what
I don't want you to grow. I need you to be dependent on me.
That part.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you a part in the book, and this is in the book. I had asked him because his company was doing getting into financial things, and I was like, oh wow. So now that I got my own business. Can you give me some pointers on things that I could do to help grow and for retirement and all that stuff? And he said, just stay married to me. That was his answer.
I got you.
Yeah. Just stay married to me.
Yeah.
It wasn't,
This is what you need to do.
And that right there, that showed me, okay.
Mm-hmm. Control.
You don't want me better. You don't want me to better myself for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
But that hurt, and it shined a light on, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just some of the signs you picked up on.
Mm-hmm. There are a lot. There are so many, but those are some of the big things that I noticed.
Glasses.
No, I'm good. But those are some of the big things that I noticed. And, I think I mentioned that at the end of our relationship, when things did start to get bad, he was under a lot of stress. He was under a lot of stress because he had 2 sick parents, and he was driving back and forth to Cocoa, once a week to, try to help them. So the stress of that, and then the stress of the relationship, our relationship that was deteriorating, I know it put a lot of pressure on him. And I don't doubt that. And I often ask, hey, why don't you see somebody? Why don't you talk to a therapist? Why don't you? Because I know you can't talk to me about me, your issues with me. So talk to somebody. He wouldn't talk to his friends. He was very quiet or prideful when it came to that, very private. Because even after he passed away, a lot of his friends, some of the people that I knew just said, we never knew.
Never knew.
We never knew. We would golf with him 2 or 3 times a week and never knew anything was going on. So he was very, very private. But we had tried counseling twice. And on the second time we went, we sat out in the parking lot and he said, we can Google this stuff and fix our marriage. I was like, okay. Yeah.
Google therapy.
Yep.
.com.
So that's how he felt about therapy, psychiatrists. But yeah, it was no helping him on that end.
So when did you decide, you know what, I'm ready to tell my story. This story is, I'm ready to put this in a book, right? When did you make that decision?
It was actually about 3 years ago. But God put me, this happened, it's been 8 years since he passed away. But I couldn't write down anything 3 or 4 years ago. I wanted to, it was in me, because I'd talk about it to people that needed to hear it at work or, wherever I was. But I was still so emotional. There's so much pain still attached to it that I couldn't. I had to get to a certain place where I forgave a lot of stuff and a lot of people that I felt like knew things and didn't tell me, or just the pain of my late husband trying to kill me. The trust, I had to do a lot of healing and prayer. And not until I did that and got to a certain point was I able to put pen to paper and actually write it down and not feel connected to it.
Speaking of being connected to it and putting pen to paper, you're a mother to 2 daughters and a son, and trying to find your way in the world and love again.
Yeah.
What was that experience like, putting pen to paper and trying to mother and love all over again?
That actually, it's kind of a blur, because putting pen to paper didn't happen until they actually moved out of the house. Yeah, not until my children were able to graduate school and they all went on their own different trajectories. I that's when I actually had time for me.
Yeah.
And to break open some things in me. And I began to paint. I began to heal in that way. But it wasn't until then that I was able to actually my life calmed down enough. You know, I was dating. That was crazy. Met a lot of decent people, but yeah. And then finally God blessed me with my husband.
Yeah.
And that was an interesting story too. But none of them knew that I was writing a book. Nobody knew.
Yeah.
In fact, my husband got upset with me when I finally told him, because he was like, why didn't you tell me? You know? And I was like, because I'm that type of person that if I'm doing something, I keep it here.
Yeah.
Until it has legs. Yeah. Until it's strong enough for me to go.
Right.
Look, guys, because I don't want anything to interfere with that birthing process. Right. You know, no, not that any of my people around me are naysayers, but I just didn't want anything to affect it. Yeah. That's wise. Yeah. So I actually, I wrote it. I have my Fridays and weekends off, and I sat by the water and I would journal, I would write. And that's how it came through. But it was, people ask me, Nikki, how did it hurt you? Was it painful to write it? No, because I'd already healed enough to get past it for it to come out. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What made you want to go public with it? What made you feel like I need to tell this story publicly? Like,
I didn't want to. Yeah. And this is a conversation You're and God had. You're a very private person. Oh, yeah. And no one wants to be judged.
Right.
No one.
And this is the most vulnerable.
Absolutely.
Vulnerable time of your life.
You know, I was judged and victimized after this situation happened, which was very painful. And that will be in my second book. And that's why that second book is a little slow coming, because I'm still healing from some of the pain that I went through. That was actually more painful to me than the incident. So that, where was I going? I was.
that's how painful it is.
It was.
The minute you go there,
it still is painful. So yes. I've had to take a break.
Yeah.
Because I was crying on
writing that second book.
Yeah.
So you were just saying, you know, the reason you went public with it.
The reason I went public is God just impressed upon me that I needed to share to the masses as opposed to one-on-one.
Right.
It's a memoir, but it's my testimony.
Yeah.
I don't care. It needs to land on ears that need to hear it. It needs to land on somebody's heart that is in a situation that they need to get out of. If you're in a relationship that is expired, you need to part ways. Yeah. And it's about choices. Life is about choices, and every day we have a choice to do this or do that, to choose happiness or to choose pain. Yeah. And the book, to me, is about not waiting, and definitely not waiting until you get to the point that I did. I knew that I should have been gone. I knew God gave me signs, and even my son said that year when I moved back into the house, he said, Mom, I don't know why you moved back in the house, because you know he's not going to change. My son was 15 years old, and I could not believe. I was like,
he had enough
emotional intelligence
enough
to
he recognize.
He's very emotionally intelligent.
How does he deal with it?
And that's the thing about grief with kids, and this is what I learned after he died, and I had them go to grief counseling. They compartmentalize as kids, and usually they're able to deal with it, and it seems normal. They're able to go on about their lives until maybe in their adult years, something can happen that is nothing to do with that. Something can happen that could explode that. And I've talked to them. I try to be open and allow them to express when they need to. when they want to talk about things, but most times they don't want to talk to him. But they know if at some point they have a emotional breakdown, or they really feel it, they know what's happening, and they know where to go to get help. Whether it's talking to me or get therapy or counseling.
That's heavy because a lot of listeners may have kids as well, and it's a very complex dynamic.
Very.
And with that being said, what do you want them to understand about the complexity of abusive relationships?
I, number one, want them to always trust themselves, because your body, when you don't feel good, you don't feel nurtured and at peace, your body's going to tell you when you're in a situation that's unhealthy for you. So I've always taught them to trust themselves, trust their discernment. If you're getting certain things, trust it.
Yeah.
Trust that. If that person is showing you who they are, believe it. Believe it.
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely. That's God's gift to you.
Hey. Hello.
He's showing you like, hey, and you may get peaks of it.
Right.
But that's the truth.
Right
there, because you can only cover up for so long.
Yeah. Is it hard? Is it hard to give your daughter's hand? She recently got married, knowing what you went through. And not that you are expecting. I'm sure you've spent a lot of time with a young man, but is it hard going through trauma you went through, giving your daughter's hand to another man? Does that bring any emotion for you, or are you at a place where you're able to transcend it all?
I'm not bothered by it at all, because, and this may sound, it's not meant to sound like I'm not emotionally connected, but I do understand that we all have our own path.
Yeah.
And I trust her judgment.
Yeah.
And I just pray that she's made a right decision. She knows what I went through, what we all went through. She saw, she knew who her dad was, but I believe that she's done the right thing. And I believe that she's strong enough, she's smart enough that if things aren't right,
she knows how to speak up.
Yeah, she definitely does. She will speak up. Bianca does not hold her tongue. She's very vocal and very assertive.
Oh, okay.
Very assertive.
Amen to that.
Oh, yeah.
Amen to that.
Yeah. So,
what I was going with is giving up your daughter, these things that come along with this trauma. How do you share your story without letting it define, your entire identity, like, who you are?
I share my story, but I don't linger on the pain.
Yeah.
I'm past that. And that's what I try to relay to anybody that I'm talking to. Because there is joy after pain. Yeah. Pain does not last forever.
Yeah.
Trauma or, that stuff is in the past. And yes, it's always going to affect me because I do suffer from PTSD.
Yeah.
But once you heal enough, no, you don't linger on that. I want to show hope and resilience to people.
Yeah.
I want to give people at least that hope, because I believe that's why I'm still here, to show people, to show proof. Number one, there are miracles. God works miracles. Yeah. Because, but that there's so much more to life than just the pain. And I don't want to sit in that. And yeah.
Well, for me, being a part of getting a phone call, that something happened and I didn't know what it was, to seeing you after everything had transpired, I feel like what I was expecting to see And what I actually saw was far more resilient than I truly expected. And then what I mean by that is when I got the phone call that you were shot, because that's how it came out, how telephone worked.
I didn't know that.
I heard you were shot and you ran into a bush. It was a big old panic that went about. Then I later found out that you weren't actually shot.
Mm-hmm.
That the bullet, you were saved.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I got a chance to see you in person after talking to you over the phone as you were going through the process of we're trying to figure things out.
Mm-hmm.
I expected a train wreck.
Mm.
I expected trauma. Not that you weren't dealing with it, but I just expected somebody that would not be able to hold anything together. And I was very, very, very surprised at how you were able to manage your emotions, manage complex financial issues, and just deal with the whole issue in a very professional, I'm going to use the word professional, a very just graceful way, if you will.
Mm.
Why do you feel, what was actually going through your mind? How were you able to hold yourself together like that?
I'm sure, in shock.
Mm-hmm.
Initially, I was in shock. I was floating.
Yeah, you were floating.
I was floating.
Just whatever's next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you're in the middle of a tornado or hurricane, everything's just
spinning.
going around.
Yeah.
It's just going around, decisions that need to be made. You're just running on fumes, just coasting. So I didn't have real emotions. I know right afterwards because I was literally in shock. But I know with the family, I'm so grateful that family just rallied around. Everybody was there by the time I had left the incident, and we were allowed to leave and go. Just seeing everybody at the house, it was overwhelming, actually. Actually, I wanted to crawl in bed and just
cry. Process, yeah.
That's how I process stuff. I need to be alone.
Right.
But it was beautiful. In hindsight, I look and I'm just so grateful that the family did just show up, and it just showed me how much people cared, and you don't get to see that on a regular basis.
Right.
But I had no emotion for a long time.
Yeah.
There were times when I say not emotion, I wasn't just like, I cry from time to time, and but I went to work maybe 3 or 4 days after that happened. Yeah. Because I had to.
Was it a normal day at work though? It couldn't have been.
I was telling people what happened as if it was matter of fact, because I think I was still in shock.
You were still in shock, yeah.
I crashed and had a breakdown. This happened in September of 2018. It was January of 2019.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Took a few months.
It took a few months.
Yeah.
And I crashed. And when I crashed, I had gone to work.
Yeah.
And one thing happened, another thing happened. They were little things that went wrong. And I just cried. And I called my mom and I said, I can't do this. And she actually came up there and she canceled all my appointments. And she said, you need to take some time off.
Yeah, that sounds like
I took off 6 weeks.
Yeah.
6 weeks. And in the middle of that time, I reached out to you about moving because I had to move.
Yeah.
So it was a lot. And I don't know. I look back on it and I don't know how I got through it. But I say I don't know how I got through it because I know I was leaning, but people couldn't see what I was leaning on. God was holding me up.
I had
that invisible.
What do you call it? The shoulder lean.
Yes. God was holding me up. That is the only way I got through that.
Yeah. Wow.
It was so painful. That's why I say after that happened was more painful than before, because I didn't know before was coming.
Right.
But the aftermath of all of that, dealing with the trauma of people being mean to you, what did she do to make him do that to her? You know,
I mean, people who survive these type of situations have to deal with opinions from all over the place.
Yes. Hearing the lies that people, oh yeah, she had men in the room. He called her with men, and I'm just like, my kids were home in the other room.
Right. People just making up stuff.
And people didn't know, but that's the thing. When you talk on the phone and messages spread, it just turns into a whole nother. Yeah. So that was very painful. And even my kids hearing some of it, it was painful. You know, they go to school, and thank God most them going back to school, they literally went to school the next day. After that happened that day.
Were they able to go through a normal school day?
I think they were in shock too, but their coaches, their teammates rallied around them. Coach Canning was Brandon's coach. Oh, they just took them. And it was that I recently talked to the kids about that. Like, why did y'all want to go back to school so soon?
Yeah.
Because they said they didn't want to be home just thinking about everything. And I said, I get it. And that's why I went back to work, because I needed to work, finding out, things that I found out. But I had to get back to normal life. And that's the thing about trauma, or when bad things happen to you, the world doesn't stop for you.
Right.
You see people smiling, having a good time when your world is freaking
burning,
crushed.
Yeah.
And it's like, how can they laugh when I'm over here dying?
Literally. On the inside. Yeah.
Wow. It's amazing. Life goes on.
Life goes on.
It does. Life goes on. And you either got to heal and keep running with it, or you can sit down and give up. And that's not my spirit.
And part of life going on and healing and dealing with it, do you have to stop? Did you have to pause?
Oh, yeah. The pausing was when, and as my therapist told me, she said, your body may not want to stop, but your brain will shut off. That's your brain. That's your body, your brain's way of self-preservation. So it was like a mental breakdown.
Yeah.
Because I just kept going until I just couldn't.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that was the pause for me.
Were there anybody specifically there for you to really pick you up when you really hit your low?
Yeah. My mom, you and your mom helped me amazingly. A couple other people did things for me that I was so grateful for. But that's the main thing. Also, because I had to go back to work, I didn't realize how much my work family is actually family.
Come on now.
I never realized, and I never considered my community and my job, my clients, as family. But they were so supportive of me. People rallied around me. People lifted me up. People paid in advance. Nikki, we want to do this for you. And there was the one thing he would always tell me, the one thing Herman would say to me was that you don't have any friends. And I literally believed him. I'm like, I have friends, but I'm not a needy person. I don't need to talk to people every day. I talk to people all day. But I'm like, I do have friends. I just didn't have them in the way he had them, where he had to be with them all the time. But I realized that my clients my family is, my clients.
Your clients.
They're friends. They're so many people. I have like 4 or 5 women that are older than me I consider mentors.
Mm-hmm.
And when I tell you they got me through, and they still have a special place in my heart,
Mm-hmm.
So my work, my customers, my clients,
Mm-hmm.
and family got me through. And of course, my kids.
Being able to embrace that.
Yes. Realizing that. And I tell you, that really didn't come to realization until like a year ago. I was like, wow, my clients are my friends.
they showed up.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Wow, what a powerful story. I highly recommend if you haven't got this message by now, but you definitely should get the book. I died that day, but not like you wanted.
Yes.
Where can people find the book? Where can they find you? Social?
They can find me on Facebook, Instagram. You can also go to my website, gohairfreenow.com. You can find out all the information there. There's a page where my book is on. You can purchase the book from Amazon. It's available on Kindle, Apple, everywhere books are sold, Barnes and Nobles, and you can get it in ebook or print. So
okay. I died. You said hairfreenow.com?
Gohairfreenow.com.
Go Hair Free Now. That's as smooth as a baby bottom. Gohairfreenow.com. Is there anything you want to leave with the audience? Anything you want them to take away from this conversation?
I want to leave with the audience that, again, not to stay in a relationship that has expired, to continue to trust your gut, to know that even if you're in a bad relationship, you can move forward. Things can be better. It's just a choice that you need to make, and it may not feel good at the time, but making the right choice will always lead you to peace of mind and joy.
Trust your gut, trust that faith, trust that intuition. Nikki, y'all. Thank you guys for tuning in on another episode of Living with Lakeland. I'm Daryl Ash.
I'm Dominica Betty.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Like and subscribe. Check you out the next time.